Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Master of Engineering information session of UBC Okanagan. So I'm Kasun Hevage, Professor of Civil Engineering from UBC Okanagan campus. I hope you all can hear me. So let me introduce the panel today. There are some experts who are here to help you and probably provide some valuable information about our Master of Engineering program. Brittany Parr, she's our engineering program administrator. Jennifer Eberly, she's the manager of the Applied Science Co-op program. And Shannon Hall, she's a graduate advisor. And we have Sandhya here. She's a Master of Engineering alumna. And she will provide some real experience of the Master of Engineering program here at the UBC Okanagan campus. So before we start, let's do some of the housekeeping activities. So if you are experiencing any audio issues, you can adjust these through the settings at the bottom of your screen using the microphone button. I believe you can see that button there. If you are unable to resolve the issue, please let us know and we can try to help you troubleshoot it. As this is a webinar, you will not be able to unmute yourself or turn on your camera, right? And this session is designed for you, so please feel free to submit your questions through the questions and answer box in your below. I also ask you to please submit your questions once so we have the opportunity to get to it appropriately. We have many people joining us today, so please also upvote questions. So the questions you would like answered move up to the top of the list. We also have lots of links available in the resources tab. You see a resources tab down there where you can access at the bottom of your screen. When clicking on the link, it will give you a warning that you are leaving Zoom, but it will open links in a new tab and won't cause you to exit the meeting. So that's important. So feel free to open as many links as you would like. You can also open them and save for your later reference. You will see some additional relevant links pop up throughout the session at the bottom of your screen as well. And closed captioning is also available. So you can enable this by clicking the closed captioning button at the bottom. So this is our beautiful UBC's Okanagan campus. As you may know, Canada is a place of different ethnicities, cultural backgrounds, and almost all of us are immigrants to Canada over the last 2-3 centuries time. So before the European settlements, there were First Nations here in Canada. So we respectfully acknowledge the Selix Okanagan Nation and their peoples, in whose traditional and ancestral unceded territory of the UBC Okanagan is situated. The UBC's Okanagan campus is located in Kelowna, British Columbia, which is about 4.5-hour drive from Vancouver and less than a 1-hour ride from Vancouver Airport. So as you know that UBC is one of the top universities in the world, generally ranked around 35, 40, and below 40 on the top 40 universities. And Okanagan campus is a closely knitted community. I have been with the UBC's Okanagan campus since 2008, about 17 years now. And I moved from a bigger city of Canada to Okanagan, and I love this place. Some people call Okanagan as the wine capital of Canada, but more than that, I see Okanagan as the all-four-season playing place. I do my all-season activities. In the wintertime, I go skiing. The ski hill is about 30 minutes away from the city. In the summertime, I do dirt biking, I do mountain biking and outside, and we have a beautiful Okanagan Lake, just probably about 20 minutes from the campus. And in this campus, compared to the Vancouver campus, we have very close faculty-student relationships and with the staff as well. And we have smaller class sizes. So students interact with professors and the staff in a very engaging manner. I have been teaching Master of Engineering courses, and I have been supervising the Masters and PhD students for the last 18 years or so. And I have seen the successes of many of these students in the university. So it is a mid-sized campus. We have about 10, 12,000 students in the campus. And at the same time, I see UBC Okanagan. The reason which I see UBC Okanagan as a great place is that the connections, the personalization you can make with your program and with the professors and with the potential employers. So let me move to the next slide. So here, I'll now go a little deep into the potential Master of Engineering program. So this is a 12-month course-based program. There are two options. The first one is that if you decide you want to go ahead only with the courses, it's a 12-month course only stream. However, many of the students prefer the internships in the middle. So in that case, it can shift into 16 to 24 months course-based program. And our experts here will discuss more about such avenues. So the courses includes both core courses and also the elective courses. And core courses are designed in this program to uplift or give you the exposure to some of the key aspects of engineering, including professional communication, ethics, leadership. I personally teach project management. Project planning and control is one of such courses, which I believe Sunday has taken as well. So that you will be exposed into both technical and the non-technical subject areas. And if you decide to come this way, you have three main programs to select from: civil, electrical, and mechanical. So depending on your program, then there will be core courses and the additional selective courses. And there's another one important thing about the UBC's Okanagan campus. We are a school of engineering. So under our school, there are civil faculty, mechanical, electrical, manufacturing, and we just started computer engineering as well. So the students have the opportunity to interact with many different experts, professors, and also they are exposed to different courses here, and your choices are much higher. So in terms of the program outcomes, so after successfully completing the Master of Engineering programs, so you are ready. So we want to equip you with the skills and the abilities directly you can apply in the industry with your problems solving skills and the management skills. And what I meant by directly applying is that some of the industrial norms in North America might be different from some other international countries. So we will be discussing, we will be exposing you to those norms, and we will equip you with such talents where you can directly go to the industry and apply such skills. And we continuously develop our Master of Engineering program with the advice, with the the knowledge from the industry. You will see some industrial partners coming into some of the lectures to deliver guest lectures, and we get their feedback about the current trends in the industry. And we always want to make sure that our program is directly addressing an industrial need. So, and this program is positioned for the leadership and middle-level leadership and managerial roles, and also for the technology-related industries. So if you are listening to news, you see that the global economy is now changing. And at the same time, certain industries are shifting back and forth, and we are sensitive to such trends. And based on that, we analyze our programs and deliver courses accordingly. So we want to make sure the success of our students are the paramount priority here. So in addition to that, the communication, leadership, and lifelong learning and teamwork skills will be developed here, and especially the technical communication side. Technical communication is not necessarily the English. It is about the management communication, business communication with the industry and in your business settings. So now I come to another key area, which is the admission side. In the admission side, I think we have an expert here who's Brittany Pa. Brittany, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hawagi, for that informative rundown of our program. So if you're here, you might be interested in coming to our program. I hope you are. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what we need from you to apply to our programs. You need a bachelor's degree in an engineering or related field. We have an equivalency manual for international students that says the approximate degrees that you would need from whichever country you got your education from. And it needs to be engineering related. You need to meet our minimum academic requirements, which is, it would be a 76 or a B+ in UBC terms. But the International Equivalency Manual will outline clearly what it is from whichever country you took your studies. You need to have proof of English language proficiency. This means that either your education was taken in English or you have a test of English proficiency that you can meet. So the English proficiency is dependent upon where you took your studies. It doesn't necessarily mean where you're from, it's where you took your studies. It will ask you for that even if you took your undergraduate here at UBC, but if you meet the requirements, the staff will review that and take that requirement away from your application. To complete your application, you need to go to the application and pay the application fee. You need transcripts from all post-secondary institutions that you have attended, including in progress or uncompleted programs. At this point, during your application process, they do not need to be formal transcripts. If you are admitted, you will need to submit a formal transcript. If you are in progress, you will need to submit your completed transcripts when you have completed your program. You will also need to include 2 names of referees. You just need to include their names and contact information. Your proficiency scores, if required. A curriculum vitae or a resume should be applied to your application so that we can see what you've done academically, what you've done professionally, so we can take a look at your whole application to determine whether or not you should be admitted. Your statement of intent is optional, but I recommend you do it so that we know why you want to take this program, so we can consider that when reviewing your application. If you are a permanent resident of Canada, you must provide a clear photocopy of both sides of your permanent resident card so that you will be assessed under that stream. Here's how to apply. So if you go to our website, there's actually going to be a lot of pages, and you just need to look for this one that says apply now, this orange button. Make sure when you apply, you select the Okanagan campus. If you select the Vancouver campus, it's not going to come to us, but we want you to come to us. So select Okanagan because it will make that distinction there. Here are our deadlines. Applications for September 2026 are open, and I've been reviewing them already, so get your name in. The international deadline for September is January 31st, and the international deadline for January is June 1st. If you are a domestic student or a PR, the deadline is May 22nd for September and September 22nd for January. The tuition is updated yearly, so these prices indicate the last fiscal academic year, and they'll be probably adjusted. We don't know at this point what they'll be adjusted to, but it'll be probably a couple percent points. This is for the entire 12-month of courses. So it's about $7,000 if you're a domestic student. It's about $27,000-ish if you're an international student. These are just for the course terms. My colleague Jennifer Eberly will explain more about if you are in the internship stream, what those particular fees will be. But I will leave that for her because she's the expert. You will need to pay these fees in thirds. So you'll pay it at the beginning of every term. So you'll pay in September, January, and May. The College of Graduate Studies, we work with every day to look through your applications and make sure you check we get all of your application materials, has this handy dandy expense calculator so you can get kind of an outline of what it's like to live in Kelowna. If you're from a different country or if you're from a different province even, you might not know how much it costs to live here. So we want to give you a full picture of that before you commit to it. So please go to the College of Graduate Studies page, and here you can find a little expense calculator. The next page has like a snapshot of what it looks like, but it's a totally amendable calendar or calculator. So you can change all of these things to be for your specific situation. There's a bunch of links you can click up here, which will give you more of a breakdown. This is a summary, and these are based again on the year previous. With that being said, I'm going to pass it off to my lovely colleague, Jennifer, and there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brittany. Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to be here today to share the information about the Masters of Engineering Internship Program. My name is Jennifer Eberle, and as Dr. Hawagi mentioned, I'm the manager of the Applied Science Co-op program, and I've been with the co-op program just over 11 years now. Okay, so we'll go, oops, skipped a slide. There we go. So first, I just wanted to provide just a kind of high-level overview of what the internship program is. So the internship program is a really great opportunity for you to get paid, practical, technical work experience while you're still a student at UBC. It also provides an excellent way for you to start to apply all the fantastic knowledge that you're acquiring as part of your master's program to real-world problems in industry. It also gets you started on building your professional network of contacts in industry. And it definitely helps you make that transition from student to full-time employee. This program is supported by the Applied Science Co-op program. So there's a whole team of people that work behind the scenes to help support this program, engage with our employers, and bring really great, excellent opportunities to our students. If you're in the program, we do provide mandatory pre-employment training, and this is really geared to help you secure those internships. We provide you guidance on how to put together really powerful and conveying resumes. We also coach you on how to put together really attractive cover letters. We also provide some advice on how to succeed in interviews so you can actually land an internship. When you're in the program, you'll also have access to an exclusive job board that has hundreds of job postings for individuals just like you. So for students, undergraduate and master's level students, so people with 0 to 3 years of experience, all of these opportunities are here and geared towards students just like you. This program is available to all the students in the Masters of Applied Science or Masters of Engineering program. Doesn't matter which discipline you're in, you are eligible to participate. And lastly, the internship starts after you've completed the 30 approved credits required for your Master's of Engineering degree. And so this is a really great setup. It's really to your advantage to be able to complete all of your coursework and have your internship at the end of your program. Because if a lot of our students have had the opportunity to stay on at their internship employer, actually convert their internship into a full-time opportunity. So by having completed all of your degree requirements prior to your internship, this allows you just to seamlessly transition from intern into full-time employee, whether it be with your internship employer or an entirely different company. And lastly, if this is something that you're interested in, there's nothing that you need to action at this moment. You don't need to put anything in your UBC application. Just get here, apply here, come to Kelowna, and you can decide to participate in the internship program after you started your program. So you might be wondering, okay, how does this internship program work? How does that fit in with my overall program? Okay. Oh, it's skipping slides there. There we go. So here's a higher level overview again about how the internship program works. So it really mimics the real world job search process. So we're really here to help support you through that program, through the job search. We are not a placement program, so we don't give jobs to students. Students have to compete for those jobs just like you would have to outside of the internship program. It's also really important to know that internships are not guaranteed. Obviously, our hope is that every student is able to secure an internship. However, it's up to the students to be able to put forth quality applications, put in a good effort, do a fantastic job in the interviews in order to be able to get an internship offer. So in this process, it's you, the student, who apply, and you compete for these opportunities against your peers and other students all across Canada. It's the employers who then decide which students that have applied for those positions that they want to interview, and ultimately if any of those students they want to hire. It's the student's responsibility at the end of the day in securing an internship, just like it's your responsibility to complete all your degree requirements to get to your Master's of Engineering. But the important thing to note is that you have supports. Everyone in the co-op program is here to help support you to be successful. So all you have to do is reach out and seek support. And lastly, you're not confined to just working here in the Okanagan. Actually, you're best if you go outside of the Okanagan, expand your horizons, work in other parts of BC. You can actually work any part of the world, and you can work with anyone. When do you start applying for internships? When do you actually begin this whole process of getting your internship? So here is a schedule of what your plan would look like if your Master's of Engineering program starts in September. If you plan to start your program in January, everything would just shift by one term. So if you started your program in September, you would complete your first term of your Master's of Engineering courses. In your second semester, this is when you would be completing the mandatory pre-employment training workshops that are really preparing you for the internship job search. It's not until the summer semester, so your final term of study of your Master's of Engineering program, is when you're actually going to be conducting your internship job search. So you're going to be doing that simultaneously, along with you finishing the remaining courses required for your degree. If you're successful in securing an internship, you would begin that internship the following September. And that internship could be 4, 8, or 12 months in length, depending on the opportunities that you apply for and how long employers require you to be as part of the program, or how long the opportunity is for. Once your internship has been completed, you apply for to graduate, and then you go on your way. So that's sort of kind of how that works. And there are costs, like Brittany alluded to, there are costs associated with participating in the internship program. So there's two main costs associated with the program. The first cost is the co-op workshop and administration fee. I have quoted here an exact number, right down to 75 cents. This number is actually from the previous academic year. So our fees typically go up about 2% each year, so not a lot. But this fee is due. You only have to pay it one time. It's at the beginning of the program as soon as you join. And this help covers the cost of the pre-employment training, as well as getting you set up into our co-op system. And then you'll be registered in our AppSci 107 Introduction to Applied Science course. This is a 0-credit course. It doesn't contribute anything to your academic average, and it's simply pass-fail. Then, if you're successful in securing an internship, you will then be registered in the corresponding co-op course. And when you're registered in this co-op course, we will take away your regular MEng tuition installment and replace it with just the co-op course fee. You'll be required to pay this co-op course fee for every 4-month term that you are working. So if you secure a 12-month position, you are paying this fee every 4 months, so you'd have to pay 3 installments of $871.75. Again, this is from previous year's fee schedule, so it's probably slightly higher this year, but you get sort of a sense of how much that is. And this fee is the same for domestic and international students. If, unfortunately, you're not able to secure an internship, that's okay. You're not required to pay the co-op program fee. You would simply apply to graduate at that time and then begin your post-grad job search. The other important thing to note is when you're on your internship, you are considered to be a full-time student. And so being on your internship, you are still required to pay all the regular UBC student fees, even though you most likely won't be working in Kelowna. You may be working on the island or in Alberta, Ontario. You still are required to pay your UBC student fees. That includes like athletics and rec, your UPass, health and dental, and those sorts of things. You can see the full list of all the fees in the UBC academic calendar. I know this is something that's really important. They're like, this is great. I'm so excited. I want to do an internship, but how likely am I going to get an internship? So here's our success rate, our employment rate from the previous cohort. So these are students that started their MEng program in September 2024. They just began their internships last month. And you can see on average, the employment rate is about 78%, which is pretty much on par with what we see with our undergraduate students in the co-op program. So again, not everyone, unfortunately, was able to secure an internship, but at least, 8 out of 10 students almost were able to secure a really great opportunity. What companies have hired? So where could you maybe end up working? So here are the names of some of the employers that have hired quite a few students from our program after from the last couple of years. As you can see, there's a pretty big variety in the types of employers here. So there's our students have worked at mines. So for example, Tech Resources and Taseko. We've had students working for construction firms like Leadcore and Ellis Dawn. We've had students working in municipal government. So working for the city of Edmonton, the regional district of Metro Vancouver, the city of Vancouver. Students have worked in oil and gas, Canadian Natural, even in utilities with BC Hydro and high tech microchip. So the whole gamut, there's no pre-approved list of employers. Any employer that is willing to provide you with a technical work experience related to your academic program can be an internship employer. And where have students worked? So that's the companies, but you might be wondering, where exactly have they ended up working? So here is a pie chart, which basically shows the distribution of where all of our internship students have worked ever since the program started in 2020. As we're located in BC and the large majority of all of our industry and big companies are located in the greater Vancouver area, a lot of our students end up relocating to the Lower Mainland for their internship. So when we say Lower Mainland, these are some of the cities that you will see in your job postings. These are all basically within the greater Vancouver area. So you might see positions in Burnaby, and Delta, North Vancouver, Richmond, Surrey, for example. So 62% of our students are working in the Lower Mainland. 17% are working in other parts of BC, such places as like Kelowna, Prince George, Fort St. John, for example. We also have a small sliver of folks end up working on the island, Vancouver Island. Sandhya is actually working there right now, so she'll speak more about her experience working in Victoria. We also have a lot of students working out of province. So we have a lot of opportunities in Alberta, particularly in the oil and gas industry. We have lots of students relocating to Ontario for a variety of opportunities. And we also have some students actually securing opportunities outside of Canada. And in these cases, it's typically students who are returning to their home countries to complete their internship. And now I'm going to pass the stage over to Shannon.
Thanks, Jennifer. Hello, everybody. My name is Shannon Hall, and I'm the graduate advisor here at the School of Engineering. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at engineering.graduate@ubc.ca. My role is essentially to support and guide students from the beginning of their program through to graduation. And I can assist students with drop-in advising, program progression, course registration, problem solving, or perhaps directing students to other UBC campus supports. So in essence, if you have a question or a concern and you don't know who to ask, I'm the person to ask. Please just write me an email and I'll help you. And I'm going to the next. Oops, I did the wrong slide. There we go. Okay, so I would just like to highlight some of campus supports where students can find community, find friends. Again, you can look at the bottom of your screen in the resources tab, and you will see some links to some of these resources that I'm telling you about. The first one would be the graduate community. If you go on the graduate community link, you'll see lots of events and lots of places where students can just find people. If you are an international student, I strongly suggest that students make contact with the Global Engagement Office. If you are offered admission to our program, I would even suggest that you would contact them to find out how to get your study permit. I am not the expert, but they are definitely the experts. They can help with immigration resources, health insurance, working while studying, study permits, as I've said, or also with intercultural programming. Another important link would be student wellness. There is a health clinic, we have counseling and mental health services, and we also have a disability resource center if students require that kind of service. Next would be campus life. Campus life is a great way for students to find fun things to do and to connect with the community, not just the UBC Okanagan community, but also with the Kelowna in general. So you can find events on and off campus. There's UBCO recreation, student associations, clubs, groups. We have pride programming, and we have a great program called Picnic. Picnic is a place where they will take care of you and nurture your well-being. I know that sounds kind of broad, but they have some wonderful, wonderful programming. And on to my next slide. Oops, not yet. Sandia, back. Oh, here we go. The last thing you might want to think about is housing. So we have two types of housing supports. The first one would be if you want to live on campus for UBCO housing, I strongly suggest that you check the link and find out about the important dates and deadlines. Basically, just look at the dates and deadlines and make sure that you hit those notes. If you are looking for off-campus housing, we have a couple of other resources as well. We have an off-campus housing guide. There are people there that can assist you, and UBCO has also partnered with Places for Students. Now, Places for Students is a program where students can browse listings for opportunities to find an apartment, and you can also browse to find a roommate. Okay, that's the end of my spiel, and now I'm going to pass it over to Sandia.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Sandhya Devkate, and I recently graduated from UBC Okanagan campus. My program that I've chosen was the same, Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering. So today I'm just gonna share my story. And I was one of you guys who joined, I think a couple years ago, one of these sessions just to know what is this program about. And I was more curious about the co-op program that they offered. I think I joined the program after I submitted my application. So I just wanted to know how is the co-op or how does it work, and I was a little bit intimidated. I was like, oh, do I have to apply for jobs because I don't know any company in Canada that would suit me or that suits my profile or something. So the main reason why I chose this program was I saw the co-op as a return on investment option. Well, before I applied, I saw it as a return on investment option, but then after I joined and finished the course, my views about the co-op completely changed. It helped me a lot today wherever I'm working. It's all the co-op that helped me a lot to get to this position. So I'm currently working with Ministry of Infrastructure in BC Public Service, and I'm currently joining this call from Victoria, which is a beautiful city on the island. So yeah, I'm gonna share probably about why I chose Okanagan campus. As Dr. Kasun has mentioned previously in their notes, that it's a close-knit community. It actually helps a lot, and you connect with all the professors and classmates and all the connections that you make on the campus, and everyone is so supportive. They support each other, and that sense of connection, it actually helps a lot when you're far from home. And it was very easy for me to get to know each other and then start my master's program in Canada. And then my 1 year of journey with UBC Okanagan campus went so fast. I had to finish all my courses, and in the meantime, I made so many connections. I joined all the networking events and the industry nights that the career team or the co-op team has organized, just to know like the company names. Like I didn't know much about any company in Canada, so I was like so curious, and I was like, I just want to know what companies actually there out in the market in Canada. So I used to go. I was so curious during my first year of master's, and then it goes so fast. And meanwhile, while I was finishing my master's at UBC Okanagan campus, you start preparing for your co-op as well. So when I joined the session, the same session which I joined a couple years ago, I thought the co-op is more like you do it, but then I was very wrong. It was more, I would say the co-op is more organized and well put together by the co-op team, and they support you a lot. And I was able to secure many co-op opportunities. Like I got offer from many companies, and then I interned with City of Vancouver, and I took co-op of 8 months length, and it was the best decision that I've chose. It helped me a lot. It's one of my best parts of the MNCH program. And I worked on city infrastructure projects, and I got to know a lot of other companies that I can probably think of after finishing my graduation. So yeah, I would say if anyone is planning to work after finishing your master's, just like me, my goal was the same. I wanted to finish my master's and then eventually want to try industry and see if that is for me. And since I was very intimidated applying for any jobs in Canada, just because I thought I was new coming from India, and then I was like, I don't know much about it, so how will I land up even a job? So I think I chose the best option or the best program, I would say. And then I finished my co-op, I graduated. The transition from master's to co-op was very smooth. It's because you get a lot of support from the co-op team. But then also it makes your journey after you graduate and finding a job also kind of gets smooth, I would say, because I worked a lot on knowing and seeing like which field works for me and which would not during my co-op. And the co-op, the company that I was working for, they were very supportive as well, so they guide you as much as I can. And I was also in touch with the co-op team. And after finishing graduation, I landed a job, and all thanks to my co-op team as well, and also the company that I worked for. So I worked with Stantec right after my graduation, and then now I'm working with BC Public Service in Ministry of Infrastructure. And I would say I would give credits to the co-op team a lot for that. Today I am in this position. When I joined the MNCH program, I was pretty raw, I would say. Like I didn't know much about like companies that were in Canada. I didn't know will I be able to even land a job after I finish, because that was my goal. Like after I finished my master's, I wanted to try industry for a little while at least, just to know if it is for me or not. And yeah, I'm here, so I would highly suggest if anyone is looking to try co-op, then please do. You have a great team behind you who would support and guide you for all this, like in all the stages of the co-op. And yeah, the co-op, the hands-on experience that I got through the City of Vancouver, that's the company that I worked for, and it gave me the confidence and I would say the credibility to later work with, let's say, Stantec, and eventually my transition into the public service is also because to that. So yeah, welcome everyone, and then I hope you take same what I have learned from the previous session which I have joined as pre or prospective student when I was prospective student at that time, and you hope this session helps you. And if you have any questions regarding particular to me, like if you want to know more about my co-op or something, just you can connect me on LinkedIn or drop a message. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I'll give it over to Brittany.
Thank you very much, Sandhya. That was very informative. I'm so glad you had a great experience.
Oh yeah, I do.
I'm going to pivot now to the Q&A. I'm going to ask some questions that are written in there, and I'm going to distribute them among the committee here. The first question I'm going to ask, there's a couple people asking this about your GPA being less than a 3.3-ish. I can't definitively say whether or not we can accept you under our minimum requirements. However, there's a little bit of wiggle room depending on how low your GPA is. Please provide your statement of intent and interest when you apply, and we will review that when we review your application for that. Next question, I wanted to pivot to Dr. Hawagi. I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. I am a Canadian citizen, but my civil engineering degree is from Colombia. Would completing this program help with the recognition or validation of my engineering credentials in BC? In other words, how does the process work after graduation to obtain the professional credentials required to practice as an engineer for geoscientists in the province?
Thank you, Brittany. I'm a professional engineer, so which is a PE. PE usually looks at your undergraduate degree. So now your question is specifically about, yes, you are a Canadian citizen, but you did your bachelor's in Colombia. So in that case, they will evaluate your Colombian bachelor's degree. However, this Master of Engineering program will help you to navigate through the Canadian legal ethics and the other management practices and so on. So when you are writing the professional engineering exams to get the PE status, the MEng degree will definitely help you. So usually every other week, I'm evaluating a professional engineering application of many international students and with their degrees. And after they have their degrees completed, once it is evaluated and once you have relevant field experience, there's usually a straightforward path to get the professional engineering status. That's the way I got it. My bachelor's degree was in Sri Lanka, and then I did my PhD here in Canada. So after that, then I went through that process, and then it was straightforward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hawagi.
You're welcome.
The next question I'm going to answer is, I'll just answer this quickly. Is there any options for those whose English proficiency does not meet the requirement? You need to meet the requirement by the end of your application period. However, there is a huge list of tests you can take. So you can look at that list, and Duolingo is usually the most accessible one. So take a look at the English proficiency on the College of Graduate Studies website. And then if you submit that before the application deadline, we will review that, but there's not an English program that you can take once you're here. The next question is there a paid internship program for internationals? So I'm going to pivot that to Jennifer.
Yes, thank you for your question. So I'm happy to say for the internship program, every internship must be paid. That's a requirement of the internship. If it's an unpaid position, we won't let you proceed. So yes, we're all paid positions. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to pivot just slightly. Someone's asking about computer science internships, right? You work with engineering, correct? Can you elaborate?
Sure. Yes, so the Applied Science Co-op program predominantly supports our undergraduate program. And so UBCO and UBC Vancouver does have a computer engineering program. And so we do have opportunities in our job board for computer engineering students, which are often very relevant to computer science as well. So when students get access to our co-op job board, they can see all of the job postings. So even though you might be studying your MEng in electrical engineering, if you saw a job that was looking for someone with computer engineering background, but you like that job and you have a lot of the skills, you're more than welcome to apply for it. So that I wouldn't say you wouldn't be eligible to apply for those positions. Those opportunities would still be available for you. Yeah, regardless of your program.
Thank you. I'm going to pick on you again. What is the normal reason those who didn't get an internship opportunity? What is an average reason?
I would say the most typical reason is students not putting enough effort into the job search. It does take a lot of time and effort, and you have to apply to a lot of jobs in order to get an interview and then to succeed in getting the position. So we have found the students that unfortunately are unable to secure are usually students that haven't applied to enough positions, haven't prepared appropriately for interviews, may have been very selective in their opportunities. Like, I only want to work for a robotics company, or I only want to work in Kelowna, for example. So oftentimes if people are a little bit too specific or don't put in a big enough effort, that usually translates into, unfortunately, them being unsuccessful.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was super helpful.
No problem.
I'm going to ask Dr. Hawagi this one. What if you want to change our field, like studying mechanical engineering, to find employer in high tech?
Yeah, I think this is very common. Like even in graduate and undergrad level, I usually tell students that your bachelor's degree is like a passport. Then you have to decide which country you want to go with that passport. So the students who graduated from our programs, if you are a mech, I think if you want to work in elec or in any other industry, I don't see any barrier. And in the master's and PhD, MASCs and PhD level, I'm a civil engineer, but I supervise students from mechanical, electrical, and computer background, and so on. What matters is the application and your interest. So I don't see a problem there, and it is very common in Canada.
Thank you very much. Someone's asking, please talk about the winter intake courses. What is going to happen for the summer semesters? I can talk about that. With regards to our summer, basically, our summer term, there are 2 shorter terms, but there are 4 requisite courses that you need to take. So you would take them normally in that term, like the same as you would if you started in September. The difference being you would start your September term and you would take APSC 501, which is a communications course, and then 2 technical specific courses for your discipline during the September term, and you would finish your course portion at the end of December. So it's basically the same, it's just where the summer term is in a different place. You don't get the summer off, and they're shorter, but you still have courses you need to take. Another question for Jennifer. Who are we competing with in the co-op hiring process? Are there any universities in Canada that they see the same job posts as we see in the PD portal, or we just compete with UBC students?
Good question. So there are some postings or some opportunities where employers partner with us quite exclusively and only advertise their opportunity with our co-op program. However, the large majority of our opportunities, our employers post their opportunities with multiple institutions. So if it's a smaller company, they might post their job with UBC and then Simon Fraser in the Lower Mainland, or with the University of Victoria, maybe the University of Alberta. So yes, you are competing with students at other institutions. And then for really, really large companies, they just want the best student out there. So they will cast a very wide net, and they will post and try to advertise their opportunity to students studying at all universities across Canada. So it is very competitive, but you can succeed in securing an opportunity. So yeah, unfortunately, the jobs on our board are not exclusive to our program. Some of them are, very small number are, but most of them are available to all students across the country.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm going to ask Dr. Hawagi again. From an admissions perspective, I want to state firstly, if you take a Master of Engineering in an engineering discipline than you took in your undergrad, that's totally fine. But I want Dr. Hawagi to talk about it from his perspective.
Sorry, Brittany, I didn't get the question. Which one is that?
That's fair. I didn't really say it. I kind of just summarized it and it wasn't clear. Is it required or recommended that students take their MEng in the same discipline they took their undergrad bachelor's in?
Now, it depends on your interest. So I have seen students, for example, some of the MEC students taking a mensch or the higher like masters or PhDs in electrical or computer engineering. And I have seen the vice versa as well. And some of civil students went into mechanical side. So it all depends on your interest. But for the like, if you ask about my personal suggestion to you, if you have bachelor's in a certain discipline, your first master's degree, I suggest you to take in the same disciplinary area. So it will help you to develop your expertise, niche area in that subject matter. But if you don't like your bachelor's, or if you feel like, for example, let's say renewable energy, as a civil engineering student, and if you felt like, yes, I really like the renewable energy area, and most of those courses and the expertise is in mechanical side, and that's where you want to have your career, in that case it makes sense. Otherwise, for the first master's level degree, I suggest you to stay in your bachelor's area as a general recommendation.
Thank you, Dr. Hawagi.
Welcome.
This question is for Shannon regarding ENGR 597. Can you elaborate on the project courses that we sometimes offer our students?
Thanks, Brittany. The MEng project course is a 3-credit course. If we're running it, a faculty member will provide the scope of the course, and then we will advertise it to students. And then we'll advertise it to students. Students can apply for it, and then we will ask the faculty member to choose which student they want to complete that course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not really sure what the next question is asking, so I'm just going to skip it. Unfortunately, if you wrote it and you can elaborate, maybe edit it, or put a new one in, I unfortunately can't understand. The next thing is how to provide references for your internship. Do you have any advice on that, Jennifer?
Oh, yeah, references. Yeah, normally when you're applying for jobs and you get to the interview stage and an employer is, seriously considering offering you the position, some employers or most employers will ask for references. What I've found for internship positions or even co-op student positions, employers typically don't ask for references, mainly because students don't really have a lot of work experience anyways. And I think they kind of feel you've been somehow a little bit pre-vetted by getting into UBC. However, there are some employers that do require it. That's just standard practice across the board. Doesn't matter if you're a co-op student or a full-time employee, they require references. In those cases, we would recommend, maybe a professor potentially could reference for you. It can be someone from your home country. Maybe the employer would just send them an email and ask them a couple of questions. So it doesn't necessarily have to be over the phone. Or if there's someone else in the community once you're here that you've met. And I know a lot of students will sometimes get part-time jobs once they get to Canada. And so maybe if you got a part-time job in Canada while doing your master's, that person that you work for could potentially be a reference for you. But I wouldn't worry about that right now. That's something that we can cross that bridge when we get to it. But I wouldn't worry about it at this time.
As a final question, I would like to ask Sandhya, what was your experience in Kelowna as a newcomer? Can you just give us just a rundown of how you felt the community was, and just let us know?
Thank you. In Kelowna, it was good experience. I just landed, I think, when it was -23 or something. I landed in 2023 January. I remember it was all snow, which I haven't seen in my life, so it was a great experience. And in Kelowna, it's a small town, but yet so, like, the people are so sweet and very warming. So my experience in Kelowna, I would say it's my first home in Canada, and the people are so nice, and the campus was so great too. And I would say the first year in Kelowna, it just went so fast. The weather was fantastic, the beautiful city, beautiful people, and everything was so perfect. So yeah.
Thank you very much. I think with that, unless someone asks, oh, we are not the computer science program, unfortunately. We can't address questions on computer science specifically. We're engineering. We have a computer science stream where you can take computer engineering stream, sorry. We can take computer engineering adjacent courses in the electrical stream, but we're not the computer science specifically. I hope that helps. We are recording one of two of these because we did two of these identical, save for the questions, obviously, because there's different attendees, and we will be posting it online. Just engineering in general, full engineering, computer engineering is what we mean by engineering. So with that, I'm going to say we're good to go. Thank you for coming.
Brittany, I think the student is asking the engineering, is that mean hardware? Yes, when you mentioning about the computer engineering program, it's a combination of software and hardware both. So I think that was the question. And the second one I want to add is that someone asked about references. I have provided, I can't remember how many references for these co-op students. Like when the students take courses with professors, then you get to know professors, and we are happily providing you references.
Thank you. That's helpful. Sandhya.
Oh, I wanted to add to the same thing Dr. Carson has mentioned, that for my co-op as well, I have, I think, given 2 professor references from professors. So yeah, if that answers your question. And also someone asked how to increase the chances to get co-op. So I would say there are many programs and sessions that usually co-op team has for the people to make you ready for the co-op. So I would suggest to make sure to use those things, and also just make sure you also not be picky, I would say. I know a lot of people were picky, and even including me, I was very picky. I was I just want to do in this program or in this field of position or something. But I would say not be picky and just apply to all the things that you think would match your profile, and just go for it. I landed with a co-op, so I would think if I can do it, then probably you guys can also do it.
Thank you. There's one last question about referees. Ideally, someone academic, someone you took your courses with, but maybe if you haven't been in school for a while, you can have referees that are your employers. It shouldn't be someone that is just that your friend or even a coworker. It should be someone who would have a position above you, preferably academic, but again, career as well work for you. Thank you very much. We are at time, so I'm going to call it. Again, if you have any questions, please email us at engineering.graduate@ubc.ca. We can send your questions to whomever it is that will answer it. And yeah, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you again for coming.